Let's do a simple test. If I tell you a data center needs power in 24 months, what's the nuclear answer? Because build a new reactor is not it. Hyperscalers can site, permit, and build a new data center in 18 to 36 months. While for nuclear, even a fast project is a multi-year effort of licensing, design, and construction. And that huge mismatch is now showing up in official energy forecasts. The International Energy Agency's latest Electricity 2026 outlook says that U.S. electricity demand is expected to grow about 2% per year through 2030, and around half of that total increase is driven by rapid expansion of data centers. And globally, the IEA is projecting data center electricity use to roughly double to 945 terawatt hours by 2030. And that is an enormous amount of energy. To put it into perspective, 1 gigawatt of baseload at about 90% capacity factor is 7.9 terawatt hours per year. So if global data centers expand to 945 terawatt hours per year, then that's about the equivalent of 120 gigawatts of baseload energy required in order to support it. And 120 gigawatts is nearly 120 AP1000 reactors. This is adding Japan-scale electricity to a single sector in 6 years, which is why the electricity grid operators are freaking out. Because even if we had a magical supply of reactors, the transmission, distribution, substations, transformers, and grid interconnectability are all real near-term choke points to prevent this from happening. PJM Interconnection, which is the largest regional transmission organization in the United States, managing the electric grid and wholesale electricity markets for over 65 million people across 13 states. They are seeing this massive increase in demand for data centers, and have now openly said they are tightening their vetting process for new projects to move forward because there simply isn't capacity. PJM alone expects its summer peak load will grow by 3.6% a year, which totals about 65.7 gigawatts of additions over the next 10 years. But because data centers are distorting these forecasts and making it much more difficult, PJM has said that they're implementing stricter vetting of data centers and other large loads. And this is leading to a backlog of requests from hyperscalers that want to get their data centers built as quickly as possible, which is why we're seeing conversations about behind-the-meter and co-location absolutely explode right now. Not that these are optimal solutions, but because they're a way around the interconnectability wait times and queues that have been building up. Because if a data center needs to come online in 2 years, but the wait for getting electricity from the grid is 5 or 10 years, then that's just not going to work. So it's better to bring your own power to the site and build your own electricity plant. And for now, the new data centers that are being built, they're largely being powered by gas turbines, relatively small individual power plants located alongside the data center to provide the electricity and cooling that they need. So will AI data centers outstrip any possible way of building nuclear plants for them? In the short term, basically yes. In the US and other Western markets, if an AI data center is supposed to be built and come online in 2027, 28, or 29, there is no way that a nuclear plant can be licensed, constructed, and start operating within that time frame, at least not with our current processes and approach. But in the medium to long term, things look a little bit different for nuclear. There are a few things that we can do. The first is keep existing nuclear plants operating. This supports the existing reliable base of electricity throughout the market. So this means life extensions of existing plants and no early retirements. We've seen a number of plants recently go for license renewal, which is a good sign in that direction. Another potential route are uprates, which means getting more energy out of existing plants. This can normally be done through things like equipment upgrades at the plant. And over the last few decades, we've gotten about 8 gigawatts of additional electricity just from uprates alone, which is the equivalent of bringing online around 8 new large-scale reactors. Another area that existing nuclear could support is through restarts. And we've seen this happening a lot recently, with 3 Mile Island, Palisades, and Duane Arnold all scheduled to come back online, and all tied to data center demand. And overall, this is what we're seeing in big tech's nuclear strategy, with pushes for things like PPAs, restarts, extensions, all of these large reactor activities first, with SMRs and small reactors coming later. But for now, even that may be too slow, which is why we continue to see gas turbines dominate the energy sources that these data centers are looking for. Siemens Energy, which manufactures gas turbines, has said they want to invest $1 billion in U.S. manufacturing to support the increasing demand on the grid, largely from data centers. But that doesn't mean that nuclear loses here. It means that nuclear does have a bit of a two-step approach that it needs to take. One is to keep the existing plants running and get those uprates and life extensions in place, and keep the existing firm, clean fleet alive. And the other is to be ready to provide the follow-on firm capacity that will be needed for the next wave of AI data centers. Because as the projections show for 2030 and beyond, there is still a lot of demand coming. But the only way that nuclear can compete on data center timelines is if one of these three things is true. We have some sort of standard design and repeat projects, so that we're not always doing first of a kind and bespoke mega projects every time we want to build a nuclear plant. And this can be anything from factories producing small modular reactors to standardizing the methods of construction that we use for larger plants. Because as we're seeing in China, Russia, and South Korea, repetition is the only way to consistently get these projects done. The second involves regulatory certainty. Having pre-licensed sites, or at least pre-permitted energy parks where data centers and nuclear power could be co-located, would greatly increase the certainty that a new site and a new reactor could be built. Coupling that with the necessary grid upgrades means that these projects could be approved much more reliably and have the energy that they need. And third, a contracting model that the hyperscalers would actually like. Things like fixed delivery milestones, performance guarantees, and flexibility to expand after the initial project is done. Having things like standard contracts and standard interfaces also greatly simplifies the complicated nature that these projects normally have to go through. If everybody knows what is being delivered and how it's going to be delivered, risk management becomes much easier, and the projects can be completed on time and successfully. Until then, the idea that SMRs are going to be faster is still just marketing hype. The real schedule drivers are going to be licensing, supply chain, and first-of-a-kind risk. But there is an opportunity here. If big tech becomes a large, anchor, creditworthy buyer for nuclear, then a number of things can fall into place. This can force the industry towards standardization of design and construction. It can and is already pushing the regulator towards more modern and streamlined approaches. It can expand the nuclear supply chain so that more suppliers are available to provide parts and the quality assurance that's needed to go with them. And it could push us towards energy campus models, where large, reliable energy sources are co-located with the demand and customers that need them. So while AI may not be powered by new nuclear in this decade, it may be the reason that new nuclear finally becomes financeable at scale in the next. If you found this video interesting, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It does help out enormously, and you get to stay informed about all nuclear things coming up in the future. So thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.